Here we back. Welcome back to another installment of a brand new series that I'm getting started entitled Power versus Morality, where we lay down the historical facts and the evidence to let you know that life is not about morality, it's about power. It's not about equality, it's about power. It's not about democracy, it's about power. And for today's case study, we are going to dive into the life of General Henri Christophe, King of Haiti, from the year 1807 to 1820. And for this case study, we are going to dive into one of my favorite books entitled Henri Christophe and Thomas Clarkson, a correspondence, edited by Earl Leslie Griggs and Clifford Prater. Now, let's get into it, man. Not wasting no time. We're not going to dive into the life story of King Henri Christophe. I've done that already. Go to my playlist section entitled The Most Powerful Black Man of the Last 500 Years. That's an entire documentary that I did, 7-part series, 8-part series on the entire life, rise to power, and reign of King Henri Christophe. Check that out after this video. But to get it started, I think the best example to drive the point home and kick the entire video off is the story of King Henry's oldest son. I think the story of his oldest son really drives the point home that life is not about morality, life is not about democracy, life is not about equality. We're going to talk about his eldest son that was killed by the French government. Yes, the French government killed a young black boy who wasn't even 12 years old. Let's talk about it, man. Take a look up on the screen. This page in the book says, perhaps the strongest evidence of Christophe's belief in the sincerity of the French was his action regarding his eldest son, Ferdinand, then 9 years of age. Desirous that the child should enjoy the privileges of French training, Christophe placed him under the care of General Boudet, that's a white boy from France, who was returning to France, and provided ample funds for the boy's education and maintenance. His trust was misplaced. His son was soon thrown into an orphan asylum in Paris, where he later died, neglected, and in want. Now, why did Christophe send his son to France? Because during that time, this was before the French invaded in 1802. They did not know the French were going to come reinvade and reinstate slavery. So Christophe, being a young rich black man, told the French, listen, I'm gonna send my son over to France. I'm going to send him to get an education, go to the best schools, go to the best military academies. So when he comes back, he can follow in the footsteps of his father and be a statesman, be a general, be a king. And the white boys in France said, they gonna be killing this boy. You know why? Because life is not about morality. Life is not about equality. It's about power. And the French used Christophe's son as a bargaining chip in negotiations with Christophe to get Christophe to betray the revolution, betray the cause, betray his comrades. And Christophe was like, listen, you know what Christophe told the French government? Christophe told the French, I'm young, my wife is young, my wife is beautiful, I'll have another son. And Christophe did just that. He had another son by the name of Prince Jacques Victor. Now you see, the modern black leaders of today, the sellout collaborator puppets of today, they would never be able to stand strong and stand firm if a foreign government said, we have possession of your son and we're going to take his life. Bro, they're going to fold. They're going to capitulate. They're going to crumble under the pressure. Because as soon as these Western nations say, we're going to cut your visa, we're going to put you on a blacklist, we're going to seize your property, we're going to seize your bank accounts, these dudes crumble under the pressure and they sell out and they do the bidding of foreign governments. So these modern black leaders don't have the mental fortitude and the pride, honor, and dignity of our forefathers. They'll sell the whole country away just for a U.S. visa. Now, let's get back into it. Let's learn about the life of Christophe's oldest son, Francois Ferdinand Christophe. Francois Ferdinand Henri Christophe was the eldest son and the first child of Field General Henri Christophe, King of Haiti, and his wife, Marie-Louise Coiravide. Because he was both born and died before his father's ascension as king in 1811, he was never Prince Royal of Haiti, nor was he ever heir apparent to the throne. Although not yet royalty, Christophe had big plans for his son and wanted him to follow in his footsteps. In a conversation with a friend, Christophe once proudly said of his infant son, "Never have I seen a finer baby than my little Francois Ferdinand. He is strong and strapping, like me. He recognized me. He caught hold of my finger and smiled. He is the image of me." The French killed him, man. It is what it is, man. I told y'all, life is about power, man. It ain't about morality. Now, let's continue. When he was the appropriate age, Christophe started making plans for Francois Ferdinand's education. He wanted his son to be a military man like he was. As a young boy, Francois Ferdinand was sent by his father to France, more specifically to Paris, where Christophe hoped that his son would receive a sturdy military education. Instead, the Parisians, freshly defeated by the Haitian armies led by Christophe in numerous battles, took Francois Ferdinand out of school and made him a hostage. Christophe, learning of the situation, demanded explanations. The French promised that his son would receive a liberal education. Instead, they placed Francois Ferdinand in an orphan's asylum in Paris. On October 7th, 1805, the 11-year-old boy died at the Orphans Hospital of Paris. Both the circumstances of his death and the burial places are unknown. Even after Christophe became king, he remained heartbroken because of his son's death. His official historian forced to make constant references to the boy's lonely death in France, referring to Francois Ferdinand with the title of Prince, though he was never entitled to use it during his lifetime. Fuck them white boys in France forever, nigga. It's fuck y'all boys to the death. Fuck your nation. Fuck your whole lineage. Fuck your flag, nigga. Fuck everything you stand for. Fuck everything you represent. Fuck your image. Fuck your ancestors. And fuck your descendants. And fuck your predecessors, bitch. And Christophe told me to tell you that. Now, let's continue. Now, as we all know, Christophe, the top goon of North Haiti, the top gangster of North Haiti, the top shotter of North Haiti, you know what I mean? He got a few bodies. You know, we got to talk about the men that were assassinated by King Henri Christophe, starting with General Jean-Baptiste Sans-Souci. Let's get into it. Jean-Baptiste Sans-Souci was a leader of rebel slaves during the Haitian Revolution. He was assassinated by rival black leader Henri Christophe in 1803, shortly before Haiti won its independence. Now, on the Google search, it says that he was from the Republic of Congo, but that cannot be accurate because I believe the Republic of Congo is not even 100 years old. It's like, 70 years old or something like that? So, no, he was not from the Republic of Congo, but I believe he was from the Kingdom of Congo, you know, the Angola, Congo region of today, but he was not from the Republic of Congo. But yes, he was a man out of Africa, African-born man, and during the revolution in 1803, him and Christophe were butting heads. Both men at the time were heavily influential in the northern regions of Haiti, heavily influential, and, you know, at the end of the day, Jean-Baptiste Sans-Souci, he did not want to recognize the authority of Christophe. Dessalines had placed Christophe in a superior position to Sans-Souci, and Sans-Souci was like, nigga, I'm not following under the authority of this nigga. You know what I mean? I'm not following under his leadership. Like, I'm my own man. I stand on my own 2 feet. I do my own thing. I run my own section. And Christophe was like, nigga, who is this nigga? Like, bro, who you talking to, bro? This big Henri Christophe, nigga. What the fuck? Nigga, I will kill you, nigga. Dessalines tried to squash the beef between the two generals. And Christophe had agreed to meet up with Sans-Souci at an undisclosed location. And Christophe never showed up. Instead, Christophe sent, you know, his security detail, sent his shooters, and they wiped that nigga out. They wiped him out, bro. They knocked his head off. You know what I mean? They hit him with the bayonets. I don't know if they hit him with the bayonets. I hit him with the rifle bullets. But Sans-Souci, he was assassinated on the orders of Christophe. And I actually dropped a video a few months back entitled "The List of People Assassinated by Henri Christophe." Go check that video out. You know, it is what it is, man. As we already know, Christophe was not playing with nobody. Black, white, mulatto, it don't matter. Christophe not playing with you. Now, let's get back into the book. On page 50, it says this. At the top, he created a noteworthy military machine. They're talking about Christophe. And during the last years of his reign, his army won the approval of visiting Englishmen, for whom he was proud to exhibit the discipline and skill of the Negro soldiers. Realizing he could not entirely trust the maintenance of order and the preservation of his power to the Negro troops who had witnessed his rise to supreme authority, who had seen the fall of Dessalines through intrigue among the generals, and whose loyalty was often fickle and insecure, Christophe made arrangements with foreign merchants for the transportation of 20,000 Negroes from Africa. Carefully selected and given the most rigorous training, they not only served as his bodyguard, but acted as an internal police force, and to them was assigned the surveillance of the entire kingdom. Placed in every village and district, they provided him with an intimate knowledge of the actual condition of his realm and gave him a potent means of imposing his will upon the people. The royal Daomets, so named for the area of Africa from which they came, the kingdom of Dahomey, were well clothed and accultured, better trained, more efficient, and disciplined to a higher degree than regular Haitian soldiers. They were personally responsible to the king and enjoyed his royal favor. Through them, he was able to maintain order, to suppress crime, and to require obedience to the exacting provisions of the Code Henri. From Dessalines, Christophe inherited a plan for the defense of the island against French aggression. He too intended to offer no resistance along the coast, to burn the towns as they were abandoned, and to meet the armies of the invader deep in the mountains of the island. Under Dessalines, he had begun the construction of a great fortress atop Le Pic de Ferrier, a mountain rising to the height of 3,000 feet, and he made the completion of the citadel his greatest ambition. Now, let's talk about it. That story about how Christophe brought over 20,000 foreign mercenaries from Africa into the kingdom of Haiti, that was beautiful to me, because in the modern day, when a black nation, when a Caribbean nation, when an African nation needs military assistance, you know who they gotta run to? They gotta run to the United States. They gotta run to the US Marines. They gotta run to the Europeans. But back in the day, our ancestors were able to go to each other. They were able to call on the kings of Africa for assistance. Even the homies in Latin America were able to call on the Haitian generals for assistance. They didn't have to go to the Europeans for assistance. Nowadays, we got to go to the Europeans for everything. When back in the day, we were powerful enough to depend on each other without the Europeans. What happened to us, man? What happened to us? As a people, as a race of people, what happened to us, man? Now let's get back into it. At the top of page 52, it says this: Christophe's favorite customer was Great Britain, and he did everything in his power to create friendly relations with her. The article of his 1807 constitution made his intentions clear. Christophe declared, "The government of Haiti declares to those powers who have colonies in its neighborhood its fixed determination to give no disturbance to the government of these colonies. The people of Haiti make no conquest out of their own island, and they confine themselves to the preservation of their own territory." Now, one thing you got to understand about Christophe was a money-getting black man. Christophe was a money-getting black man. When he died, he was worth damn near $10 billion in modern money. In modern money, $10 billion, bro. They found he had a fortune, $10 billion. And the reason that he died as a rich black man during the height of the colonial period is because Christophe was getting to the bread, bro. Christophe was getting to the money. He was not about to be spending the money that belonged to the state, that belonged to the government, and trying to rescue you niggas out of slavery. I'm sorry. Christophe was not about to waste money trying to rescue you niggas out of bondage. You gonna have to free yourself out of bondage, and then maybe if you get to the island, we'll give you citizenship. But nigga, we not about to be invading colonies trying to free you, nigga. Free your goddamn self like we did. That was Christophe's mentality. Now, I have dropped videos where I spoke about how Christophe went around capturing European slave vessels and rescuing enslaved Africans off them slave ships, but that was different because Christophe only attacked the ships of the Spanish and the Portuguese, and the British during that time had already abolished the slave trade and were actively going around also capturing slave ships from other European powers as well. So when Christophe was going around attacking the Spanish and the Portuguese, that actually strengthened his relationship with Great Britain because the British were also going around attacking the Spanish and the Portuguese. Now, let's continue. On this part of the book, it says, in recognition of his action, the British ministry issued an order conferring important commercial advantages upon Christophe and directing English ships to trade at all Haitian ports under his authority. In 1808 and 1809, Christophe cooperated with the English, who launched an attack against the French forces in Spanish Santo Domingo by sending arms to the Spanish insurgents, and in 1810, English naval units helped them to wipe out a pocket of resistance at Mont Saint Nicolas. So that right there eliminates the lie that is constantly told that the Haitian government was, nobody wanted to trade with the Haitians and the Haitians were making no money and they couldn't. No, the Haitians were making millions on multi-millions and billions of dollars. They just weren't recognized as a sovereign nation, but they were still coming to get the coffee and the sugar and everything in between because that was the richest colony in the world. You think nobody's going to come and buy sugar and coffee anymore because black men are in power? You're out of your goddamn mind. That's the Europeans lying to your dumb ass. As always, all they do is lie. Now let's get back into it. On the next page of the book, it says this: American merchants found that Englishmen were enjoying a 50% reduction in duties, nor did Christophe improve matters. In 1811, finding himself unable to recover large sums entrusted to the firm of Von Kauf and Brun of Baltimore for the purchase of goods, he seized property valued at about $125,000 from American traders in Haiti, and in answer to their protests, told them to obtain redress from the Baltimore firm if they were able. Thus, his American commerce dwindled. Now, I spoke about this story before. Christophe had sent about $125,000 over to the United States. It was an investment of some sort, an investment gone bad. And $125,000 back then, convert that to the money of today, that would be a little over $3 million. And because the Americans fucked up Christophe's money, he decided to seize the property of American merchants that were currently in Haiti. And when they tried to protest against Christophe said, "Nigga, fuck you. Go to your country. Go back to your country. Go to Baltimore and get your money back from the bank that stole my money, bitch ass nigga. And you ain't gonna do shit about it, nigga. That money's mine. That's my property now. And if you act up, nigga, I'ma lock you up and I might just kill you. So you better stay in your motherfucking lane, nigga. This big Henri Christophe, big general, king of Haiti, nigga. Know who you talking to." You see, Christophe understood power. We don't got no leaders of today that's going to sanction the United States, that's going to seize property from the United States, that's going to stand up and hold his nuts and say, nigga, fuck you, nigga. We don't have any leaders like that anywhere in the world anymore. Where's the modern day Christophe? It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. That's why I call him the most powerful black man of the last 500 years. He understood that life was about power, not morality. Now, let's continue. On this page, it says, although Christophe made every effort to win foreign approval of his government, he did nevertheless impose very severe restrictions upon all foreigners. Upon arrival at the ports of Haiti, all persons were required to surrender any letters or papers in their possession for examination by a government official. No foreign resident, moreover, was allowed to go more than 3 miles into the interior, and late in Christophe's reign, it was decreed that foreigners were not after sundown to leave the vicinity of Cap Henri. On one occasion, 2 Englishmen decided to ascend a mountain not far from the town. They were stopped by the soldiers and spent the night in jail. The next day, they were brought before Christophe, and though they had the temerity to tell him they considered the restrictions absurd and a reflection on English honor, he dismissed them with the stern warning to beware how they treated in future that or any other regulation which he thought proper to establish. Christophe was particularly careful to guard the secrets of the citadel, and no foreigner ever approached the fortress. And I love that story because that goes to show, even though Christophe's government was in alliance with the British government, he wasn't gonna let no Britishman come to his country and disobey the laws of his country. Nigga, I don't give a fuck who the fuck you, I don't care who you are. I don't care where you from. I don't care if you're from London, Paris, France. And when it says foreigner, they're talking about white men. That's what they meant by foreigner. White men couldn't even freely travel through the country. Nigga, if we caught you in a vicinity where you shouldn't be, nigga, we locking your ass up. And in fact, there was a big scandal. I believe it was called the Davidson affair. It was a big scandal where Christophe had locked up this Englishman in the citadel and he was torturing him. And the news got back to London and Christophe was like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. Now, let's continue. However much the Haitians disliked the rigid discipline imposed upon them and resented their loss of personal liberty, the will of their unrelenting king prevailed, and under his guiding hand, the country prospered. Produce of every kind poured in from the plantations. A small navy patrolled the coast, and a profitable commerce was developed with other nations. The state coffers were filled to overflowing. The annual revenue amounting to $3.5 million. The nobility and landowners became wealthy, and want and hunger disappeared. The laborers enjoying 1/4 of the crops. The schools flourished. A printing press was established, and a theater was built near Capenly. Indeed, in prosperity and in grandeur, the kingdom of Haiti was beginning to rival the old French colony of Saint-Domingue. Vive roi Christophe! Vive roi Christophe! Now, when it says the annual state revenue was $3.5 million back in the early 1800s, if you convert that for today's money, that would be about $75 million per year. Straight profit, straight cash, my nigga, straight cash. Black men in the early 1700s generating, millions on top of millions on top of millions, my nigga. Yeah, for sure. For sure, for sure. And it's crazy when you think about it, how Haiti was actually more prosperous and more dominant when it was under so-called embargo by the European powers. And then after it was recognized by the European powers, it just straight plummeted to, the bottom of the goddamn pit. But anyways, let's get back into it. On this page, it says, separation from France had been a fait accompli since 1804, but Haiti was still regarded by her as a colonial possession. Thus, Christophe was never wholly free from the fear of a new attempt to repossess Haiti, and it was necessary for him to always be on alert with hundreds of men under arms who could have been more profitably engaged in agriculture. I'm going to skip down a couple sentences. It says, since the armies of France, now freed from war in Europe, were in a position to deal with the former colony of Saint-Domingue, and since Christophe had no way of knowing what action the new French king and his advisors might take, he presented the position of Haiti to France, to his subjects, and to the nations of the world by means of 3 public announcements. First, his foreign minister, the Comte de Limonade, sent a congratulatory address to an agent in London with instructions to publish it in the French journals. The message expressed a friendly disposition towards the French royal family, evinced satisfaction at the defeat of Napoleon, and announced Christophe's willingness to resume commercial relations with France as long as the laws of Haiti were observed. Rather shrewdly, it was pointed out that Christophe possessed a large military establishment ready for any emergency, but that these warlike preparations had been made in anticipation of a new assault by Napoleon. Now, time out right there. Christophe sent a letter of congratulations to the new French king that came after Napoleon, but he let him know, nigga, we got them shooters, nigga. Just to let you know, nigga, we got a large military establishment, my nigga. Yeah, try to run up on us, nigga. I'll shoot you in your motherfucking cranium, nigga. I swear to God, nigga. Big Henri Christophe up in the building, nigga. I swear to God. But congratulations, though. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations. Man, that's the most gangster shit, man. Louis the 18th came to power, and Christophe sent him a letter of congratulations and told him, my army is armed and ready. Just to let you know, in case you didn't know. You know what I'm saying? In case you forgot who you talking to, nigga. Big Henri Christophe, nigga. I got them shooters on the roof, nigga. Now, let's continue. On page 57, I'm gonna skip down a couple sentences. It says, if on the contrary, our implacable enemies, the French colonists, persuade the French to send another expedition, we will show to the nations of the world what a warlike people can accomplish who are in arms for the best of causes, the defense of their homes, their wives, their children, their liberty, and their independence. Now, I told y'all, man, the French never defeated Christophe. The French never sent a single expedition or invasion when Christophe was in power. They were scared shitless. That's why Christophe's name is never acknowledged in any European narrative of history. And if they do acknowledge it, they tell you lies about him. They slander him. They say a bunch of bullshit about him because they know Christophe was terrorizing them when he was on this earth. Christophe was a menace for the Europeans, bro. They didn't know what to do with him, bro. He was unstoppable when he was on the earth, bro. Christophe was unstoppable. They could never defeat him, bro. Now, on this page, we talk about in 1814 when the French government tried to open negotiations with General Alexander Pétion and Christophe. They tried to get their, the reparations money. This was their first attempt in trying to get the reparations debt payment from the Haitian government. Let's talk about it. And La Veste, that was a French ambassador. La Veste indicated the willingness of the French king to welcome back the former colony to France and pointed out that it would be better for Pétion and the mulatto leaders to enjoy rights as French citizens than to be treated as barbarous savages or hunted down as maroon Negroes. Apparently believing the protestations of goodwill on the part of La Veste, Pétion carried on extensive negotiations. Christophe's conduct stands in sharp contrast to that of Pétion. On October 1st, 1814, La Veste dispatched a letter to Christophe through Montesquieu, who had long enjoyed Christophe's confidence and was one of the few Frenchmen permitted to remain in Haiti. When Montesquieu returned to Haiti from Jamaica, his papers, along with the letter from La Veste, were turned over to Dupuis, Christophe's secretary. The letter was highly insulting. Christophe was offered French citizenship and a title in return for his acknowledgement of the sovereignty of Louis XVIII. La Veste warned Christophe that the European governments, including Great Britain, intended to unite their forces if necessary to overthrow all the governments that have arisen out of the French Revolution, whether in Europe or the New World. Should the Haitians resist, they would be annihilated. La Veste concluded his letter by announcing that he was sending Medina to negotiate with Christophe. And as I told you before, Franco de Medina, Christophe killed that bitch ass motherfucker. So I don't know why he sent them. You sent your man to get killed. La Veste sent his homie to go die. That's what he sent him to do. Now, let's continue. When Montesquieu surrendered La Veste's communication, he demanded an audience with Christophe, which was finally granted. In the conference, Montesquieu enlarged upon the contents of La Veste's letter. Christophe, if he preferred, could have the sovereignty of the island of Tortuga, or he could retire to France, to the United States, or wherever he might choose to go. Christophe said, "I set no value upon my throne or my crown." Christophe replied, "But what will my general officers, the members of my council, the ministers, and secretaries say to this?" To which Montesquieu answered, "Destroy those who embarrass you. You must rid yourself of them as soon as possible." Christophe then called in the members of the Privy Council, which had convened to deliberate upon the contents of La Veste's dispatch, and revealed what Montesquieu had said. The first impulse of the council was to kill the Frenchman on the spot, but Christophe insisted that Montesquieu be allowed to leave unscathed. I'm telling you, man, life is about power, not morality. I'm telling you, bro. On the spot, Christophe and the homies was like, man, we should just kill this nigga. Like what are we wasting time for? Like, why are we talking to this dude? Why are we talking to this friend? Let's just kill him, bro. Let's just kill him. Now, let's continue. In November, the French commissioner, Agustino Franco de Medina, who had formerly been a plantation owner in Spanish Santo Domingo, left Jamaica for Monte Cristi, where he stopped to inspect his estates. When he crossed the border into Haiti, Christophe, having been forewarned, was ready for him. He was proclaimed to be a spy, and his papers were seized. Thus, Christophe came into possession of the secret instructions issued to the commissioners by the French cabinet and the full knowledge of the duplicity of the French. Medina was called before a military tribunal and interrogated. He not only confirmed the information in his instructions, but boldly revealed that plans were actually underway in France for the invasion of Haiti. He was found guilty of treason and imprisoned. Now, time out. How come our leaders of today are not as gangster as the leaders of yesterday? Franco de Medina, the French ambassador, had got locked up and confessed to Christophe that the French government was making plans to invade the country. And Christophe was like, lock this nigga up. Lock this nigga up. Lock him up immediately. And he died in prison. He never made it back home. He never made it back to France. He died in prison. He died in the Citadel, actually. Yeah. The legendary Citadel. Yeah. That's where he died. That's where he spent his final days. Because life is about power. It's not about morality. Now, take a look up on the screen. As you can see, this positive statement put an end to all further attempts of the French government to gain supremacy over Christophe. Bro, they gave up, bro. They gave up. They just said, fuck it, bro. We gotta wait till he's dead. They just said, forget it. We'll wait till he passed away. We obviously cannot defeat this guy. We obviously cannot deceive this guy. We obviously cannot bamboozle this guy. He's too good for us, bro. He's too good. He's too sharp. Even when we killed his kid, he did not fold. He did not crumble. Bro, we can't do nothing with him, bro. We can't do nothing with Christophe, bro. We give up. We give up. Forget it. Just forget it. We'll come back in 10 years. And the incident that made them give up all hope of ever getting supremacy over Christophe was after Franco de Medina was killed, the French made a second attempt to try to deliver a letter and open negotiations with Christophe. And take a look up on the screen. Let's read about what happened. I'm starting at the top, but a couple sentences into the paragraph. It says, Christophe's summary treatment of the French agent Medina in 1814 was well known, and the new commissioners did not dare to land in his realm. Instead, they prevailed upon the captain of an American ship to deliver their communications. These letters were presented to the governor of Cap Henri, the Duc de Marmelade. When he saw that they were addressed to Monsieur General Christophe at Camp Français, he returned them unopened to the American captain with a severe rebuke for being a party to this insult to the king and ordered him to quit the harbor forthwith. Later, the French agents intercepted a brig off Gonaive on the western coast of the island, and taking this opportunity to transmit their letters in a packet addressed to the commandant of the port, they were able to bring them to Christophe's attention. Taking no cognizance whatsoever of his kingdom, the communications referred to the colony of Saint-Domingue and expressed the wish of the French king to extend it the blessings he has bestowed on France. His Majesty's only design in sending commissioners is to consolidate and legalize all that can exist without derogating from what is due to the dignity of his crown. Enraged at this new affront, Christophe issued a declaration on November 20th, 1816, asserting that he would not negotiate with France on any other footing than that of power with power, sovereign with sovereign, and that the preliminary basis of negotiation must be a recognition of the independence of Haiti, not only the kingdom, but Pétion's domain as well. Christophe insisted that no definitive treaty shall be concluded with this government without having previously obtained the good offices and mediation of a great maritime power, which will guarantee the faith of the treaty from ever being broken by the French. Neither the French flag nor individuals of that nation shall be admitted within any of the ports of the kingdom until the independence of Haiti has been definitively recognized. And that right there, after that declaration on November 20th, 1816, the French gave up all hope of ever opening negotiations with Christophe. They said, forget it, bro. This dude is too much of a real black man. We can't do nothing with him. He will never sell out. We can't do nothing. Just forget it. We got to wait till he's dead. We got to wait till he passes away, and then we can come back around. Now, I know in the European narrative of history, they tell you this story about how, the big bad French army, they sent a bunch of boats and they sent a bunch of, ships to Haiti to demand a bunch of money. Well, guess what? When Christophe was alive, them niggas was running scared. Take a look up on the screen. It says this. This was actually a letter from Thomas Clarkson, the British abolitionist. It says this. The second letter reports the results of Clarkson's French journey. He ferreted out information which he summarized under 3 headings. Will France ever fit out an expedition for the conquest of Haiti? Will France ever acknowledge the independence of Haiti? Upon what terms will France consent to acknowledge such independence? The answer to the first question was an unequivocal no. Not only was France in no position to undertake so costly a venture, but the very suggestion of an expedition to Haiti would meet with unanimous disapproval by the military. As hopeless and disastrous as the expedition of Leclerc, back in 1804, had become a proverbial expression, and Clarkson found the general opinion to be that no French regiment would consent to go there. No French regiment would even consent to even go invade Christophe's territory. Them niggas was running scared, bro. Them niggas was running scared when Christophe was alive, bro. Christophe was unstoppable when he was on the throne, bro. That was one black man they could never, ever, ever, ever defeat. Now, take a look up on the screen. We're going to read an excerpt from a letter written by one of Christophe's right-hand mans, one of his secretaries, one of the members of the Privy Council. I believe this is the Comte de Limonade, if I'm not mistaken. And he's actually writing to Thomas Clarkson, a British abolitionist who was negotiating on behalf of Haiti during the talks between the French government and the Haitian government. And these were the instructions that Christophe's secretary told to Thomas Clarkson. Let's read it together. At the top of the page, the negotiator will point out that the ex-colonists were banished by the laws of Haiti, that as outlaws, their former property was confiscated, their goods were given away, divided, and sold. The present legal owners not only shed their blood to earn a right to this property, but have invested enormous sums of money in making it again productive, since most of it was burned or destroyed during the several wars which were waged on the island. What rights, what arguments can the ex-colonists then allege to justify their claim for an indemnity? Is it possible that they wish to be recompensated for the loss of our persons? Is it inconceivable that Haitians who have escaped torture and massacre at the hands of these men, Haitians who have conquered their own country by the force of their arms and at the cost of their own blood, these same free Haitians should now purchase their property and persons once again with money paid to their former oppressors? It is not possible. It is not for one moment to be considered. Free men could never accept such a condition without covering themselves in infamy. The ex-colonists are our natural and implacable enemies. They tortured us when it was their power to do so, and they never seek an opportunity to renew their torture. It would therefore be altogether unjust and unreasonable to ask the Haitian government to come to the aid of such men. In the face of such powerful reasons, we feel confident that the question of an indemnity to the ex-colonists be disposed of. Now, skipping to another excerpt in the passage in this letter from Christophe's secretary, he talks about how, because as you know, during this time, the country was split between two governments, right? Up north, Christophe controlled the north, and there was another government in the south, the Southern Republic. Now, listen to what they said about how, even though the country is split between two governments, we are still all family. We are still all brothers, regardless of what happens, regardless of what's going on internally. Let's read it together. It says this. Regarding the third question, the difficulties existing between the northern and southern parts of Haiti, the negotiator should point out that the momentary division of the country is a family matter, which is of no concern to a foreign government. Our Declaration of Independence on the 1st of January 1804 declares one and indivisible, both the territory and the cause of the Haitian people. There is therefore nothing to prevent His Haitian Majesty signing a treaty in the name of all Haitians, provided that he takes as his point of departure the declaration by which both parties are solemnly bound. In wishing to negotiate for the whole of Haiti, His Majesty has no intention of trying to extend his government over the southern part of the country, but rather feels that he is bound by his honor and patriotism to further the highest interests of the entire nation. Yeah, man. So now y'all know why King Henri Christophe is my profile picture on my YouTube page, and why I'm gonna always lift up his name and glorify his name, because that's one of the greatest black men to ever live. I don't care what the Europeans say about him, what lies they tell you about him, the way they slander him. I do not care. I know the truth about my boy, man. I know the truth about my boy, man. And if every black country had a man at the head like King Henri Christophe, we would be unstoppable as a race of people. There would be nothing they could do with us, man. There would be nothing they could do. We'd be unstoppable as a force working together, man. I'm telling you, man. Long live Henri Christophe, man. Power versus morality. Life is about power, not morality. It's your boy Nefakari Desaline, back in the building. Yes, indeed. Like, share, subscribe, Cash App in the description. And I'm gone. Peace.
Reincarnated, I'm back in original fashion. I left on a horse and came back in that ass, and I left with abundance and came back to famine. We used to be pyramids, now we be rapping. Look how the mighty have fallen. Used to be running, now we be walking. When you be cooning, that's when they applauded. Selling your soul, your sons and your daughter. Gotta come up in this shit, they stuck in the mix. Really, my heart it be breaking. That's why I'm stacking that paper and handle my business. Pass it down in generation. Talking about money and power and building a nation. That's a deadly combination. Never be watching the TV, they pushing agendas, falsifying information. No, they got malice intentions. Step in the room and I'm feeling the tension. Enemy watching, he blocking my vision. Pay for the check cause I need my redemption. Building my kingdom, I need it protected. Ready for war like a young Money Congo. Never decided the team is the motto. Up in the crib and I'm whipping up waffles. Up in the crib and I'm smoking gelato. I'm chilling, I'm taking my pain and make it ambition. I'm blessed by the gods, but I ain't religious. I came for the power, they came for the bitch. They making no hourly wage, I got business. This shit is an art and they could never be taught. Selling my soul, I can never be bought. Play with my money, I see you ain't caught. Run to the check and I do it for sport. Babylon falling, I go to the source. Packing my luggage and go overseas. Shorty be with me and she so elite. Shorty be chocolate, I'm calling her Hershey. Secret intelligence probably gon' murk me. Don't fuck with brands cause nigga I'm Haitian. Say the wrong shit and you're smacking their faces.